Hello and welcome to this video. My name's Kat and I run Loops by Kat. I usually make Pokemon patterns that are available for free. Today I'm going to try a little challenge instead. I am going to try to challenge AI in the art of crochet pattern making. I've decided that I will make a crochet pattern for an amigurumi piece and then I will ask ChatGPT to do the exact same thing. I've decided to do a giraffe because it is a simple, fairly simple animal, and I wanted to do a giraffe. So first off, before I even open up AI or anything like that, I'm gonna make my version of a giraffe pattern, and let's hope that turns out well. I start out, as I always do, by drawing up my design. As you can see, I drew my giraffe sitting, and now we're starting making him. I start out with the head, and we are increasing out as normal, and the only difference from a ball in general is that I added in a few increases to make out a muscle. This will also make the head a bit more square, which I was going for. Not a lot, but just a bit more square than ball shape. Then I moved on to the body. This is done pretty simple too, with basic increases. And then I of course focused on getting this longer neck. That is quite important for a giraffe in my opinion. And you can see here while we're putting it together that they fit pretty nicely together. I then moved on to the rest of the facial features, being the horns first of all. I started in brown and then going over to yellow to finish it off. I also added a brown muzzle that was just slight oval and then a little stuffing in the middle. Then I moved on to the ears. I wanted the ears to be pretty big and to slant downwards a little to give this more calm, cute effect. I think that really succeeded and I'm really happy about how the ears turned out. Then I moved on to making the legs. The legs I ended up making are almost identical, both front and back. The only difference is that the back legs are a few rows shorter. And as you can see, we are putting him in the sitting position as we discussed in the beginning. It is now the next day, because it got late, and now I'm starting on the mane of the giraffe. I did this by doing a chain, single crocheting around that chain, and then every stitch I decided to do a little chain outwards and then single crocheting back along the chain to make these little curls. There was a lot of curls, but I think it turned out really great. I of course also added a couple of cute crochet eyes to finish off the design. Lastly, I ended up making some spots for him because he is a giraffe after all. And as you can see here, we have the finished result before sewing. Alright, so here is my giraffe. What do you think? I think it's adorable. I'll just give you a 360 view. I think it turned out really nice, and I will definitely be putting out a pattern for this very soon. Now, after we've seen the masterpiece, we will be throwing the ball to AI and see what AI will come up with as a giraffe pattern. For my AI created pattern, I decided to give a very simple prompt with no indication of what I would want other than it had to be a giraffe and a crochet pattern. And I got a pattern from it, and now we're gonna make it. When I'm first looking over this patterns that it creates, it looks like a couple balls, some legs, and then put it together in the shape of a giraffe. So we'll see how that goes. The first piece that I was supposed to make was the head of our AI giraffe. This is done in yellow color and it is basic increases out and then tying it off with basic decreases after making sort of an oval shape. I am a bit confused in what way the head is supposed to be turning at this point, but I'm assuming that we'll figure it out. Next up, we're making a muzzle for the head. Again, basic increases out, and then just a single row of single crochet, I believe. I was told to make the muzzle in white, so of course I did that. Next up, we're making some yellow ears, and they are pretty cute. And then we are making horns for a giraffe. This is quite annoying to make, as it is 4 single crochet in a round, which is a pretty small piece and quite fiddly to work with. Next up, we're making the body, which is basically a bigger version of the head. We are increasing out, and we're making an elongated circle. The body is not that much bigger than the head, which is confusing in a bit. And the orientation of these pieces, again, confused me a bit. And I just chose to believe that everything was going to be fine when we had the legs and all that. So next up, of course, was the legs. Here the pattern got interesting for the first time. The legs went up to 18 single crochet. The body itself went up to 36. So this is a very big leg for not that big of a body. Already when I had made the hoof part, I was trying to figure out how to put this together, and it didn't make sense, so I decided to just continue and hope for the best. We did change color in the middle to distinguish the hoof from the rest of the leg, I guess. But we just continued with these 18 single crochet round, and then we made 4 legs. Even after the first leg, I was confused. I still am a little bit confused, to be honest, but we ended up putting him together, and this is basically him before we are sewing him together. We have now completed the ChatGPT giraffe-ish. I will say, all the pieces fit. Nothing is totally out of proportion. The legs are a bit thick, but maybe that's the vibe. I'm not sure. It is a fine pattern that looks more like a cow dressed up as a giraffe, I think. Either a cow dressed up as a giraffe or every animal crochet pattern ever mixed into whatever this is, which it probably is compared to when you think about how AI works. We have this little dude, and he will be fine. He's fine. I wouldn't pay for him per se. I believe that he is missing the long neck part that a giraffe is rather known for. Giraffe usually also have long, slim legs. He does not at all. The pattern didn't tell me how to orient any pieces really. I just assumed it would be like this, so he wouldn't look like he was like strapped up on a cross. That felt weird. I'm not mad at it, but it's not great, as you can see. And we can compare these two. Obviously, this one will take a bit more work than this one, but generally speaking, this one, I think, personally, is the clear winner of this little challenge. Here, at last, I will of course point out that I would never make a pattern with AI and list it as my own, as that is just morally wrong in my opinion. ChatGPT especially takes everyone's work, mashes it together, and uses it for information. So of course this is plagiarism in some form from probably multiple creators. Of course I will not be putting out the pattern for this. I also think it's not the best, but whole nother story there. But the moralities of ChatGPT and AI in general is questionable, and I do hope that everyone in the crochet community knows that and will not be using these things in a harmful way. I do hope that AI can help with generating ideas or new things for the community and something like that, as long as it doesn't take over the creative process that we are actually enjoying as crochet pattern designers. On that note, I will say thank you so much for watching this video, and I really hope you enjoyed this little concept. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and comment below if you want me to do this again, and maybe a suggestion for what we could make, me and ChatGPT could make next. I'm thinking maybe a Pokemon, or just a whole nother animal. Any ideas on that would be great. If you want to follow along in the things I do, and if you don't want to miss a video, be sure to subscribe below. It really helps me out. Thank you so much. Bye!